Hey guys, in this video we're going to go ahead and talk about quadratic word problems, specifically the garden problem or the fence problem, where you have to maximize a certain amount of area given a specific amount of feet. En este video vamos a resolver un problema cuadrático en cual te dan una cantidad de pies para una cerca y tienes que agarrar lo máximo, las dimensiones máximas para la área. So let's go ahead and do it, guys. The first thing I want you guys to do, anytime we have a word problem, I want you guys to go ahead and draw it out. Okay, make sure you draw it out, you label what you have, what they give you, and then you're going to set up your equation or your equations given the parameters, okay? And then when they ask you to maximize or minimize, depending on what you have, okay, for example, in this one, we have a quadratic. Well, remember that a quadratic, okay, is a parabola. So either you're going to have this, okay, which is going to give you a minimum here, or usually you're going to have something like this, and you're going to have to find the vertex maximum, okay. En este problema, lo que quiero que hagan un dibujo, ok, y después cuando tengan el dibujo, comiencen a escribir lo que les dan, ok, y después con eso vamos a escribir las ecuaciones. Y cuando muchas veces estos problemas cuadráticos le van a pedir lo máximo o lo mínimo, que entonces vamos a tener que usar la vértice. Este me va a dar el mínimo, este me va a dar el máximo, pero en dado caso en las dos siempre vamos a usar la vértice. And we're always going to use the equation negative b over 2a, guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and read the first one. You have 800 feet of fence to fence a large field. If you construct a rectangular playground, what are the dimensions of the largest such yard? What's the largest area? So I draw my rectangle, okay. Escribo mi dibujo, okay, hago mi dibujo. Now I'm gonna label it. So I know a rectangle has a length and a width. So here's my width, here's my length, here's my width, here's my other length. Okay, so I drew it, I labeled it, okay. And now, let's see, what can it tell me? It says I have 800 feet of fencing for the large field. So I have 800 feet to go here, 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 here. Tengo 800 pies para hacer una cerca. Este lado, este lado, este lado, y este lado. So this is what you're going to go ahead and do. So you have 800 feet, right? So you have to cover the two lengths, and you have to cover the two widths, okay? Tengo que encercar lo ancho y lo largo. So the two lengths and the two widths. And for that, I'm going to have 800 feet. Does that make sense? Because that's what they tell me, and that's going to give me the perimeter. Okay? Ese me va a dar el perímetro, es lo que tengo. Tengo que encercar todo esto. I have to go all the way around. Now remember, what are they asking you? For the largest area. So now I got to create an equation for the largest area. Well, what shape is this? This is a rectangle. What's the area of a rectangle? Okay, the area of a rectangle is length times width. Okay, ¿qué es esto? Es un rectángulo. La área de un rectángulo, porque es lo que me piden, es lo largo por lo ancho. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, see, I wanna maximize this guy, so I'm gonna use this guy to solve this guy. See, because I can't solve for L and W at the same time. Okay, I'm gonna have to solve for one. All right, so watch what I'm gonna do. You see this here, how they have 2, and then 800. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to divide everything by 2 on both sides so I can just have smaller numbers. So L plus W is equal to 400. Entonces lo que hice fue dividir para nomás simplificar el problema para no tener números tan grandes. And then watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to solve for one of these. So I'm going to take my plus W, I'm going to move it over here, it becomes a negative W. Okay, entonces lo largo se convierte en 400 menos W. So now I'm going to take this guy. See, wherever I see L, this is what's going to go inside. So this guy is going to go into the L. Right here. Okay, so se va a meter ahí. So now, the area is equal to, now, instead of L, what am I going to put? 400 minus W. So I'm going to put 400 minus W. And then you have your W on the outside. So now you're going to write A equals, you're going to distribute, want to multiplicar. 400 times W is 400W minus W times W squared. Okay, so this is the equation for your area, and technically you can write the area in terms of the width. La área en términos de lo ancho. Okay, so we're gonna get the area in terms of the size of the width. Okay, but you notice now I have just a bunch of W's, which is nice. And what shape is this? Well, this is an upside down parabola because it has a negative in front of the W squared. Este es un parábola boca abajo. ¿Por qué? Porque tiene negativo enfrente. Now, if I want to maximize, si yo quiero agarrar lo máximo, tengo que agarrar este punto, la vértice. So in order to maximize it, I have to find the vertex. So to find the vertex, you're going to have to use your vertex formula. And the reason you have to memorize it, just your professors, they're always going to ask for it. I mean, just basic algebra 101. But instead of x, what am I using? En vez de la x, ¿qué uso? Uso w. So actually, you can have w equals. Now, what's your a? What's your b? ¿Cuál es mi a y cuál es mi b? La a es el número que está enfrente del cuadrado, del w cuadrado. So whatever's in front of the x squared or the w squared. So there's a negative, and so there's an invisible 1. So a is -1. What about b? B is whatever's next to the x, or in this case the w. La b es lo que está aquí junto a la x o la w en este caso. Sería 400. So now I'm going to write negative 400, negativo 400, sobre 2 por negativo 1. So you get 400 divided by 2, which is 200. So the width, lo ancho, is 200. Well, don't forget your units. What are we talking about? We're talking about feet. Estamos hablando de pies. So we're talking about 200 feet. All right. And there it is. Now can I find my length? ¿Puedo encontrar lo ancho? ¿Lo largo? Claro que sí. Está aquí, esta ecuación acá. So we know that L plus W is equal to 400. Okay. And then we found out this guy right here. So we can figure out L is equal to 400 minus 200. And yeah, you guessed it. L is 200. Okay. And there it is. So they're both 200 feet. Los dos tienen 200 pies. Is this a rectangle? Actually, it is. A square is a rectangle. Okay. Now, what about the largest area? Ahora la área. La área me va a dar largo por lo ancho. The area is going to be length times width. So 200 times 200. And that's going to give me, sorry guys, 4 and then 4 zeros. So 40,000 square feet. Okay. So let's go ahead and do another one. Vamos a hacer otro. Okay. Just a couple more just to get you the hang of it, how we're doing these, okay? Because sometimes they're different. So now you have 2,400 feet of wire fencing to enclose a large field, but you want to make 2 paddocks. So these 2 little areas, usually you keep horses in there, and then you want to split the rectangular in half. Entonces tengo 2,400 pies y otra vez voy a encercar, pero esta vez quiero hacer 2 áreas del mismo tamaño. Entonces esto lo voy a cortar a mitad. ¿Cuáles son las dimensiones más largas para hacer para hacer el cerco? So now we're going to go ahead and see what's the largest field that we can do. So I went ahead and drew it. Okay. So how are we going to do this? Well, we're going to label it. So we notice we have W here. Tenemos lo ancho. Now the length could go from here to here, or if you want to go from here to here. I'm just going to say that it goes from here all the way up to here. Okay. Lo largo es, voy a decir que es de aquí. Okay. You can also say it's from here to here. También pueden decir que es de aquí. But I'm going to go ahead and say this is the length right here. Esto es lo largo. Now you notice here you have W. Now you have another part here you have to enclose. You have another W. Tengo otro W. Okay. Entonces, remember, think about it in your mind. You have fencing, you got to cover this area, this area, this area, this, and then this side here as well. And so now this equation, entonces esta ecuación voy a tener 1, 2, 3, 3W, 3W, plus the 2 lengths más los 2 largos es igual a 24. 2,400. I have equal it to 2,400. Okay, so picture in your mind, you have to cover all this. Okay, so you have 3 widths and you got 2 lengths. Okay, Well, you notice I can't really divide, right? Because, well, no number goes into it, but that's okay. So now what do? What are they asking for? They're asking for what are the dimensions of the largest such enclosure? And actually, I should have put what are the dimensions of the largest area, okay? Because we're talking about quadratic. And it's always the largest area for these quadratics. And so let's go ahead and find the area. Vamos a otra vez usar la área. And again, my area is length times width, but of course I can't solve L and W at the same time, so I have to substitute. So I'm going to use this guy to plug him in here again. And watch what I do. So now this one we're going to get a fraction, but that's okay. So we're going to go take this guy over here to the right, becomes a negative 3W. Now what do? Well, I get 2L is equal to 2400 minus 3W. Divide both sides, everything by 2. Okay. So now we're going to have length is equal to 1200 minus 3W over 2. And that's okay. We're going to go ahead and just use it. Vamos a usar esto. Entonces esto, this guy's going to go wherever I see an L. So this guy's going to go right in there. Okay. So now I can go ahead and continue. Entonces voy a escribir A es igual. Instead of L, I'm going to put this guy. Voy a escribir 1200 menos 3W sobre 2 por W. Okay? And then I'm gonna go ahead and continue doing the same thing. So distribute, I'm gonna get 1200W minus 3 times W squared over 2. Okay? And what do I have again? I have an upside down parábola, quadratic. Entonces, igualito. Tengo un cuadrático que está boca abajo. Okay? So what do? I'll just kind of draw it here. Entonces tengo esto así. Y quiero encontrar este vértice. So again, I'm going to use x equals negative b over 2a. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and write it just so you guys get in the habit as you move on to the higher mathematics. Okay. So the area in terms of the width is equal to 1200 w minus 3w squared over 2. Okay. So for this one, a is equal to negative 3 halves. La a va a ser negativo 3 sobre 2. La B me va a dar 1200. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and use my formula, my vertex. So how do I know it's W? Because look at here, this is W. Eso es W. So now I get negative B. La B is 1200. 2, and then negative 3 over 2. Which is nice because the 2's are going to cancel out. Are going to simplify out. Entonces, el negativo es positivo. So 2 times 3 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. I just did it the long way. So these cancel out. Esto se simplifica. 2 por 3, 6. Entre 2 es 3. Entonces, 1200 quiere decir que me va a dar 400 pies. So the width is 400 feet. So this guy, and this guy are all going to be 400. Okay. Now what about the length? Entonces, lo largo puedo usar este. So now the length is going to be 1200 minus 3 times 400 divided by 2. Okay. Now, I want you guys to see something here because multiplication is commutative, okay? Now, what can I do first? Should I do 3 times 400 or can I do 400 divided by 2? You can do 400 divided by 2 first. So 400 divided by 2 is 200. 200 times 3 is 600. 600. Te va a dar 600. So the length, lo largo, me va a dar 600 pies. So for this one, okay, just so you know, this little line means feet. Esta línea pequeña quiere decir pies. Okay, so that means the length is going to be 600 and the width is going to be 400. And that makes sense because, you know what, this guy's going to be longer, right? So now, and they ask you for the largest area. So now we're going to go ahead and multiply length times width. The length is 600 and the width is 400. And you can already guess, so 6 times 4 is 24, and you got 4 zeros. So 240,000 square feet. 240,000 pies cuadrados. Okay? But I want you guys to get in the habit of what we're doing. We're drawing it out. We're labeling it. Think about it logically. And it's not so hard, right? All right, the next one. Because remember, you're probably not going to have this, but they're going to give you the word problem. and it's okay. You have 1,800 feet of 1,800 feet of fencing to enclose a field, but one side will border a river, so it won't need a fencing. So this is my river, okay? A diagram is pictured below. Find the dimensions of the largest possible yard, and I should put the area here somewhere. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so a lot of times they're always going to ask you for the area. Okay, so we have the same type of problem. Tenemos el mismo problema, nomás un poquito diferente porque tengo un río aquí. Ok, y tengo que encercar todo esto. So, same thing, they drew it for us. So we have the width here, we have another width here, and a third one over here. Okay, and then I'm going to say here, this guy, I'm just going to say the whole thing. Todo lo largo es L, que lo ancho. Pero esta parte no se necesita porque está el río, right? So this part doesn't need a fence because it's the river. Okay, maybe the horses, the animals, whatever, they can go here and drink some water or whatever. So now let's go ahead and write my equation. So my equation is going to be 3W plus length is equal to 1,800, 1,800. All right. So that's my first equation. Now, what do they want us to maximize? The dimensions of the area. Entonces, quieren que nosotros encontremos las dimensiones de la área más grande. Okay, so the area is length times width. Okay, now remember, I can't solve L and W at the same time, so I'm going to need to write them in the same term. So I'm going to go ahead and solve this guy. Okay, this guy is, I'm going to take the 3W to the right. It becomes a negative 3W. Okay, that way L is going to equal to 1,800 minus 3W. Okay, there it is. So now this guy, I'm going to go ahead and use it, and he's going to go right in there. Okay. So now let's go ahead and take our area. Is going to equal, instead of L, you're going to put 1,800 minus 3W times W. Okay. So now remember, I want you guys to get in the habit of writing it, because you get to the higher mathematics, you're going to be doing this. The area in terms of the width. So A of W. Okay. The area in terms of the width. La área en términos de lo ancho. Okay. Eso es todo lo que quiere decir. So now we're going to distribute, vamos a distribuir 1,800W minus 3W squared. Okay. There I have my equation. Tengo mi ecuación. So now what do? I have an upside down parabola again. And you guys know the drill. So that means my W is going to be negative B over 2A. We know that my A is equal to whatever's in front of the square. La A, lo que está enfrente del cuadrático aquí, el menos 3. And then the B is your value next to the X or the W. La B es el 1,800. And then we go ahead and continue. You're going to have B is negative 1,800, 1,800. And then 2 times negative 3. Okay. And then you have 1,800 divided by 6, 1,800 entre 6. Me va a dar 300. It's going to give me 300 feet. Okay. So the width, lo ancho, is 300 pies. So this guy's 300, this guy's 300, this guy's 300. All right. Well, that's good, because now I can figure out my length. Well, where's my length? It's right here. So lo largo es 1,800 menos 3 por lo ancho. And lo ancho es 300. Okay. So that means we're going to get 3 times 3 is 9. So that 1,800 minus 900 is 900. Great. So my length is 900 feet. My width is 300 feet. So for this guy, let's see. We're going to go ahead and have our area is length is 900 times the width is 300. So now the area is equal to 27, 4 zeros, 270,000 square feet. All right. And that's it, guys. So hopefully you get the hang of it. Not too bad, not too difficult, straightforward. All right, guys. Good luck.